I first witnessed Canada in real life somewhere around late March. For a country many said was heavenly and majestic, my impressions somewhat varied, because all I saw were trees without leaves and soil without grass and wet and muddy puddles. I did not see any majesty in this country. But I stayed optimistic and said to myself, it's just a phase. I moved to North York in April, and we were on our way from Mississauga, and when we reached Downsview, the number of cars and people were reducing. And after turning to the Downsview Boulevard, it was almost empty. This emptiness sort of forced me to look around, and that's when the park caught my eye. It literally stood there like Lady Godiva surrounded by its serenity. It was sort of like an extravagant bouquet of roses in the middle of a desert. Because throughout my journey, all I saw were lifeless trees, right? But the Downsview Park had hills of greenery expanding beyond the horizon. The excitement made my heart race. I was overjoyed to be living in an area secluded from the busy bees of Keele Street, while also being surrounded by such a scenic landmark. This is the moment I agreed with everyone who told me that Canada was majestic and heavenly. Once I visited the park, it continued to amaze me. Just as I walked in, I noticed the lake was filled with geese. But I was warned that they are deadly, which is something I wouldn't take lightly after almost being mauled by a few. As I delved further, I was surrounded by so many trees. It was just them and me on an endless road, like my own form of meditative space. This calmness forced me to be more vigilant, and I noticed tiny blooms and the colorful baby leaves emerging. I was just so happy. I felt that Downsview Park is a sort of hideout for many people who come home after a busy and tiring day at work, to just vent. All by ourselves, reflecting on our actions, thinking about our lives, or even journal. It's just anything we feel like doing. We can be ourselves, judgment-free. Every moment I spent at Downsview Park was peaceful. There were so many loud images in my mind, but the sound was always muted. I could speak to myself and ponder, which is something I usually have to do in a soundless environment and look forward to at the end of my day. It's extremely difficult to find a place filled with such tranquility in this area, and I was in awe to realize Downsview Park is just the place for me. Sometimes I feel like I own the park because I used to spend so much time there. I understand that the park is different for everyone. For me, Downsview Park is sort of my place, and I'm so grateful that such a place exists in this busy town.